listening pleasure.
The Blazing Defender Report with your host, Travis Jones.
A 100 years from now, if somebody should bring up my name, if it would still be around, it would be nice if people say, geez, I thought he was a good writer. His stories gave me a lot of pleasure. That's what people tell me now, and it's the best thing any writer can ever hear. When I see the characters that I helped to create on the screen, I don't really think of them as my characters. I really sit in the theater and I watch them the way every member of the audience watches them. And at the end of the movie, I usually say, damn, that was good. I'm so glad. But I worked with artists who brought them into life, who let people see what they look like and showed the action. There are directors who added so much to the characters and their direction, and the actors who brought so much. It isn't a one-man field. There's so many people contribute. I'm just happy that I've had a hand in all of this, and I'm happy that even after all these years, someone bothers to interview me about it. I'm really very flattered.
Little moment of silence for the Godfather. All right, welcome everyone to the 100th episode of the Blazing Defender Report. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Travis Jones, aka the Blazing Defender, and with me on this 100 episode spectacular, that's hard to say, my Bucky to my Cap, my Robin to my Batman, my trusty sidekick, TV's Casey. What's going on, Casey?
Hey, man, I'm happy to be back.
Happy to have you here, brother. Really, really appreciate you being on here. It was kind of short notice. I know you had some plans even, so I'm really, really excited you could be with us today, man. And I don't know who this guy is here. I guess he's the Talon, the Court of Owl, but it does kind of say his name underneath the overlay. What's going on, brother? Who is that behind the mask? Oh, it's Big Sam.
It's Medium Sam.
Hey, in the intro, I had it. They may call him Sifu Sam now, but we all know him as Big Sam. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Glad to be here. Thank you for this honor. 100 episodes, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. It's kind of surreal. 100 episodes. Casey, how many episodes do you guys have on your show?
We just hit, I think, 180.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been going since 2015 on the Bad Coyote Funky podcast.
Nice. This, I guess I'm not quite in my third year yet. Not quite. Close. I'm close to being in my third year. But yeah, I mean, and plus I was the nerdgasm. Look at these fucking nerds. Can y'all see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I had the Nerdgasm podcast before I became the Blazing Defender. So yeah, I'm a little over 100, but that's 100 episodes of the BDR report. This is my love. So this is my show. This is
hotness, the baby, the
What's
brand
that?
new trim.
What's that?
It's the new hotness.
It's the new hotness. Yes, exactly. Imaginary Nomad. He says, "What's up, you fucking nerds? This is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This is the kind of chat that I like. I like people saying what they want to. If there's one tone that the BDR has always had, it's we're unfiltered. We say what we want to say. We say what we think, not because it's politically correct or because we think we'll get more viewers, because trust me, the shit we say probably runs off more viewers than we get. But the ones that I have are that I absolutely, totally am in love with. So I want to thank everybody that's in the chat. And I want to really quick, because I see one of these guys I'm about to thank is in the chat. I want to give some shout out to some people that have been there with me from the beginning. Frederick Debo's in the motherfucking house from the Great Superhero Debates on Facebook. If you're not following his page, guys, you really should. Everything to do with pop culture, from sports to gaming to comic books to movies, to anime, you name it. This guy has it on his page. I see it on his page before I see it almost anywhere else first. I don't know how he does it, man, but he does a great job, and he's been with me damn near since day one. So, Frederick, thank you very much, brother. This is a celebration for you as well as it is for me, because you've been a big part of it.
Jason, the king of the hype man.
He is. Is he not king of the hype man? He really is. Everybody needs a Frederick Debo, dude. And if you don't, you ain't happening, dog. You just ain't happening if you don't have a Frederick in your life. Jason Jones, which I don't see. No, Jason's in the chat. Oh, he is. Yes, he is there. He's quoting Homer Simpson. And that is fucking fantastic, because this is the kind of shit that Jason brings to the chat. He's quoting Homer Simpson. But Jason has been there with me during the Nerdgasm days. So Jason, to you and Heather, thank you very much for all your support. They have sent me things over the years they thought that I would like at conventions. And always, brother, thank you so much. I want to, Casey, mute your earphones real quick. The Giant Size Team Up Network. I want to thank these guys. They've really helped me come along in my podcasting venture. They reached out to me, and one thing came to another. And I think I'm the last of the original shows on the Giant Size Team Up. One of the first and one of the ones left standing. And with the Giant Size Team Up, I want to thank Mike Woodard, my fantastic producer. He makes me sound better than I really should. He gives you that dope-ass theme music. He also did the theme music for Sam and I Show Meatheads on Movies. So, Mike, thank you very much for everything you do, brother. Phil and Dennis from Botch Podcast that are a GSTU show as well. They're a D&D podcast. They have really helped me with my Patreon, with coming on to Twitch. Dennis was hitting me up right before the show. He's going to do some shit to my channel. So thank you, Imaginary Nomad. Thank Phil for me. You guys have really helped me, and I consider you really good friends. Just about everybody in the Giant Size Team Up, I consider very good friends, even though we don't see each other on a regular basis. You're just good people, and I'm blessed and proud to be a part of you. I want to thank, of course, my beautiful wife. She has always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do. Right now, she's damn near got an Ethernet cord going over her head, because I have to, when I hardwire my rig, I have to go downstairs because everything's Wi-Fi in my house. So she puts up with my shit, and I thank you. Thank you so much, Shannon. I love you. And Marcos Matjevic. I think I got it right this time. He is the owner of Collector Zone. Collector Zone and I have been together damn near since day one. We created a partnership, and they're blowing up way faster than I am. I'm just waiting for him to grab me and take me on his coattails. But Marcos is fantastic. CollectorZone.com, guys. Collector Zone Cantina, Sideshow, Mezco, NECA, you name it, you can get it there. And I also found out now they're doing payment plans, so which is really nice when you're buying shit like Sideshow and even some high-end Mezco stuff. So please check them out. Collector Zone Cantina on Facebook to get free shipping and some other perks. So, and tell them Blazing Defenders sent you. And I want to thank everybody in the chat, everybody that's in the chat. Kurt Stable, who's also in the Giant Size Team Up Network. I want to thank all you guys for being in the chat. The chat, man, makes it fun for me, for my guests on the show. So enough of that shit. We didn't even come to talk about this shit. I've been rambling on. All right, that's done. Okay, so Casey, Big Sam, what the fuck's up, man? What have you guys been doing?
Man, basically just teaching some martial arts classes, trying to train a group of future warriors, reading some comic books in between, getting hyped for Endgame.
Right.
That's mostly my day,
Casey?
Looking forward to every Wednesday where new books comes out, of course. Endgame, the most hype movie of all time. I can honestly say I've never wanted a movie more than I've wanted this.
I agree.
About Infinity War, and now this. So
right,
the scales are that much higher. Other than that, I'm working on launching a new website.
Oh yeah, what kind of website?
It's kind of a personal portfolio sort of website. It's
a bunch of nudes.
Yeah.
Yep,
it's just
awesome.
Me, buck naked for all the world to see. It's tvscasey.com. It's kind of incomplete now if you want to check it out, but I'm working on the podcast section. So you've got an archive of all the stuff that I've worked on in the history of my voice being on the radio. So it's got all the stuff that I did with Giant Size Team Up and Breaking the Panel,
awesome.
Defender Report, other guest spots.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
it's so
awesome.
Liberating to just put yourself out there.
Sure it is. Yeah. I mean, dude, I remember the first time for total transparency purposes, one of the reasons I got into podcasting and did a comic book podcast is because I thought they all sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's, DC's, you either had diehard fanboys that were never, ever going to be critical of the content, or they were getting paid by somebody to say some shit was good. And you two know as well as anybody, it all ain't good.
Well, you must not have been watching Kevin Smith or listening to Kevin Smith's podcast much then. I'm just
let me tell you what, and I'm going to get some poo thrown at me right now, and that's fine. Let's just go ahead and start to show off right. I listened to Kevin Smith's podcast to learn what not to do.
Oh, damn.
To learn what not to say. It infuriates me. I can tell because I've listened to him so much when he doesn't like something and how he fucking talks around it without really saying, man, I just didn't like it. Dude, it's okay to say you didn't like something, but because he's in the fucking industry, he can't. I guess he can't say that because he won't get a fucking job directing Supergirl or some shit. I don't know, but
that's a real career highlight for him, though.
Yes, it is. Hey, I'll never direct an episode of Supergirl. So yeah, there's that, I guess.
I'll be honest, coming from just the kind of fan that you are, Travis, I can see how Kevin Smith's change over time has been a lot of things. Like, he used to be hugely critical and he would say stuff like, hey, what's the thing's penis look like? Now
yeah.
More back and tamed. He lost a ton of weight. You're all about those big gains. He's vegan. Fuck that.
Right. No, now, honestly, I did like Fat Kevin Smith. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But, dude, he was going to die. So, yes, he needed to lose weight. I'm glad he did. I'm super happy for him because, as Sam can tell you, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do is to be on a diet and not eat foods that you like. Sam knows,
right.
as well as I do. I mean, we've done it. We've lived that life. But, when's the last time you heard him say something like, man, I wonder what the thing's dick looks like? I mean, he didn't even say shit like that anymore. I guess because he's got kids now. I don't know what the deal is. He's not the
if he saw the thing's
guy.
dick, he would also say that it too looked good. Like, it still be positive.
Right. And don't even get me started on Bernard. But anyway, we're not here to talk about their show. Lay off Kevin Smith. He wasn't available, and we had to listen to Bette Midler's opinion on Marvel movies. I don't even know what the hell that means, but it sounds god awful.
Everybody's got a hot take these days.
Right.
Jason's full of hot takes, let me tell you.
Oh, boy.
Jason is fucking full of hot takes. So you guys were talking about Endgame, all right? Did you get your tickets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam, I know you got your ticket.
I'm going to Redneck Land with you to see this movie.
Yes, you are. Hey, dude, 8:30, I was at the Firehouse. I was going through my emails, seen tickets were available. I was like, oh shit. Try to get our normal theater, not 2 seats together. I went to every, like, the nice theaters, every nice theater I could pick. There were not 2 seats together within 30 minutes. Went to Preston, damn near could pick my fucking seat.
Right.
So we got good seats at Preston in the director's
they don't
hall.
know what a movie theater is out there. If it's
What's
not
that?
A drive, they don't. If it's not a drive-in, they've never heard of it.
Right. Yeah. See, I don't even think like people know that you can go inside and watch movies out there. So that's the reason we got lucky and we got seats.
I would kill to see Endgame in a fucking drive-in. Are you
Would
kidding?
you? Not the first
Oh,
time.
yeah. Maybe not the first time, but
Right.
Yeah, not the first time. I
picking
can't see
seats
it.
for me getting tickets was a nightmare.
Really?
An absolute nightmare, yeah, because unlike y'all folk, I'm a city boy. The heart of New York City, you've got more theaters than you can shake a stick at. But I'm already paying, $20 a month for this AMC A-list stuff where I can pick my seats and I can see 3 movies a week. And it's a whole to do, but it's so worth it.
Right.
Especially when a movie ticket will run you $16 here.
Oh yeah.
For like a regular screening.
Yeah, I think that's what ours was $16.75 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
These fans crashed AMC's website, crashed Fandango's website. Okay. I couldn't get in. So now I'm just staying off the internet all of Thursday night and I'm seeing it at like 6:00 in the morning on Friday.
Well, and also I heard it releases 2 days early, like in China or something.
Yes.
So you got to stay off from about Tuesday on.
Oh God.
Yes, because of spoilers.
Yeah.
Tony Henderson, who's a GSTU soldier as well, said it took him 6 hours.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy shit. Now, what happened was when I got my tickets at the Firehouse, I sent some texts out to some guys that usually go to the movies with Sam and I. And I'm like, hey, if y'all want your tickets, fucking get them because it's filling up. Well, my district chief, he was trying to get tickets for him and his son. I'd never seen this before in my life of being on Fandango. It sent him to a screen that said, you are now in line for tickets, and it had a minute countdown. And then after that countdown goes off, you get to pick your ticket, but you had 20 minutes to make your purchase. So I assume it held that spot for you for fucking 20 minutes?
Wow.
That
what
sounds
happens
ridiculous.
When I buy limited sneakers, it does that. It puts you in a like a line like that.
Queue? Yeah.
If your order, can be filled, it'll pop up and you buy them. That's crazy.
Fandango doesn't care. They knew someone else would just show up and buy the ticket. You're right. They really didn't give a shit, did they? IMAX or no, Travis? No. And this is why I think Big Sam can speak on this as well because he and I see a lot of movies together. The XD theater at Cinemark. Is it Cinemark, Sam? The XD theater at Cinemark is just as good as IMAX, and the sound is better than IMAX. And the tickets
theater is better.
And the theater is better, yes. Oh, the IMAX theater here is fucking awful. Like, me and Sam, let you know, I'm 240. Sam, what are you, 240, 250 now?
Yeah, in between.
Okay.
Depending on the Samoas I eat that day.
Right. He and I are literally in the IMAX theater. We are shoulder to shoulder. Like, it's got the old shitty chairs and everything. So, no, I did not get an IMAX ticket. Like I said, they're about a $4 a ticket price difference. So,
and they never use the air conditioning in there either. It's always hot as shit.
Well, I don't know if it's because you and I are laying on each other and it gets fucking hot, or there's just no fucking air. Into the Goose, or the second gen Goose, says, what were your all's takes and views on Captain Marvel? Goose, I'll send you to the review show that Sam and I did on Captain Marvel. We usually always do a show for the comic book movies. So you can check that out on Twitch or on Facebook, the Blazing Defender page on Facebook. But Casey, I haven't heard your views on Captain Marvel.
I would say pretty good, solid from beginning to end, but it's kind of by the numbers Marvel movie. I really like it as much as I like Iron Man 1, which to some that's like outlandishly high praise, but I'm just like, there's, it beat by beat, it has a great direction for how it wants to take the characters. I like the treatment of the pretty much everybody that they used. I like what they did with Nick Fury. I don't care that it was too silly. It was just fun. It was a fun film to just go and watch. And I saw it with my girlfriend, and the look in her eyes to see Carol Danvers come to life on screen and just kick ass. I've never seen representation appear before my very eyes, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw a fan be born that day.
Cool. That's that's what it's all about, right?
It holds a special place for me, that film now.
So Endgame. This
really quick, I want to say LMC for life put in the chat not to piss on their theater.
Yeah.
They see all the Marvel movies at Preston. They got recliners there. So it sounds like there's going to be 3 people at Endgame at Preston. So that's nice, man.
I've already looked, Sam, and our theater is sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sold out. Yeah, Preston's not bad. Preston's not a bad theater. It's really not. And I think we're in Directors Hall, so it's the nicest theater that they have.
Nice.
So we're going to be good. So
that is how we roll.
What's that?
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll, baby. That's how we do it. So Endgame, this last trailer that came out, man.
Whew. The Trinity is here.
Holy shit, dude.
The big 3.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
What?
No, I'm trying to avoid everything leading up to it.
I hear you. I hear you, man.
I don't need any more hype. I don't want to see anything else.
I got you.
I'm going in like Madonna, like a virgin.
That's
Except you've been touched for at least the 20th time with the amount of
right.
That's good. That's good because like there's 2 scenes. Well, fuck, we can't talk about it now, Casey.
No.
But there's
you can.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, like when Cap and Tony shake hands,
dude,
I was like, I almost started fucking crying. Like I didn't even think that I cared that much, honestly, about their relationship. Like in Civil War, it hurt me, right? Just 2 buddies that, the buddy's girl's hot and he ended up fucking her and now they're not friends anymore. It's kind of that shit. Like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, but instead of nailing your buddy's chick, it's like, hey, my best friend killed your parents.
Right.
I said kind of like. I mean, it still sucks. I mean, yeah. But when they shook hands, man, I was kind of like, oh shit, motherfucker, let's do this. Like,
we're
I was
getting the
pumped.
band back together.
Yes, exactly. And then Thanos. Like, we finally see what Thanos is good. Not a fucking toy, not a concept art. We finally get to see Thanos in his armor with his fucking big ass sword. Holy shit.
Oh, it's good.
I can't wait, man. You guys have to talk about the Ant-Man butt theory.
Butt theory.
But because that has been all over the internet.
Must we?
Yeah, must we? I don't even know what it is.
So people think that the way that they're gonna beat Thanos in Endgame is that Ant-Man's just he's gonna jump right up the butt and then grow inside of his body and just rip him open.
Who says Titans even have assholes?
I mean,
we don't know.
I don't know. You might be right. He's concerned with half the waste in the universe. Maybe it's just because he can't take a shit.
Yeah, I mean he's constipated all the time, so he's fucking mad.
Yeah. This whole movie. See, now you've ruined it for yourselves, fans. You thought this Ant-Man up the butt thing was so funny, but it turns out Thanos is just constipated. They're gonna give him a couple of everything is gonna be undone. Nobody's gonna be dusted anymore. It's gonna be great.
Man,
so good.
I tell you, I wasn't a huge fan of the Captain Marvel movie. It was just okay. I expect better from Marvel, and I think Sam kind of agrees with me. But I will say, when Thor walks up to her and it looks like he's trying to punk her a little bit, right? And he's all up on her in her shit, and he's staring down at her, and the fucking Stormbreaker whizzes by her hair, and she's like, "Bitch, is that all you got?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like this one." You know what immediately when my mind went to? He's got to fuck her. Thor and Captain Marvel have to fuck. They have to have little Thor Marvel babies running around the MCU sometime. It just has to happen.
She's for sure a lesbian, right?
What?
But she's for sure a lesbian.
Who?
Captain Marvel. For
You
sure.
talking about MCU Captain Marvel?
Yeah, she with the black chick.
No.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
No.
Who? Okay, they've appealed to black people with the Black Panther, right? Of course, excellent.
Sure.
They've done it for women with Captain Marvel, right?
Right.
Who's the last big demographic?
So you think they're just going to kill two birds with one stone with Marvel?
Yep. You got female, black female, lesbian.
Tony Henderson is saying Sam is right. He has heard that too. They were more than friends.
Everybody wants to think two women who are close are more than friends.
Well, do you remember the Bucky Captain America? Like there was a
Right.
petition.
Well, I
For
can't.
Cap to
I'll be
come
honest,
This
out.
is where they're gonna do it.
I
This
don't
is
hate
right
that.
here.
What?
I don't
You
hate
hate what?
Captain America. I don't hate it.
You don't
It's
hate
fine.
Cap and Bucky being gay?
It's fine. What difference does it make? They're good, but they're still kicking ass. Who cares if they
I'm gonna
do
tell you.
behind
I'm
closed
gonna
doors?
tell you exactly what kind of difference it makes. This is what I said about Marvel, the gender swap with Marvel in the movie. If it
Doesn't
doesn't
even
add to the story, it's fucking stupid. Because guess what? Captain Marvel is not gay. Captain America and Bucky are not gay. Okay? You know who's gay? The Midnighter. Make a fucking Midnighter movie. I would
Iceman's
fucking
coming.
be first in line. I would fight a homosexual man to be first in line to see that movie because I love the Midnighter. He is a
The
fan.
Blaze of Defense.
If they're putting Hercules in Eternals, they could do it there.
Yeah. Iceman's
Well-
coming. They got Fox.
Now
Yeah.
you see, I heard that Jolie's character, whoever she's supposed to be playing, I heard that character was gay
Could
in the
be.
Eternals.
I'm calling it, but they need someone bigger than that.
I
That's
agree.
C-list. Is going to be Captain Marvel.
Really?
That's
I
I'm calling.
just
Listen, hey, more representation, the better, man. That's where I stand.
I am
I've
too.
got no
I do
issue.
too,
I'm here
Casey.
for it.
But why not? Why can't we just have like new characters that are gay in the comics?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And you know what I mean? Like, what happened to that? Like, let's do that instead of changing an already established character. It was just like Marvel. Marvel being a woman and Captain Marvel did nothing for the story other than put another woman in the movie. Because it would have just been too awful if Captain Marvel, if Brie Larson's characters or, our Captain Marvel would have had a mentor as a man.
Well, she had a mentor as a man.
Who? Von Rogg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you know what that man was doing? He was manipulating her the whole time. So, yeah, all right.
We're getting
win
into it.
again.
You don't have to
We-
double down on having two male mentors. And who gives a shit about Marvel anyway? The guy hasn't been in a comic in like 30 years. All right.
Nobody's, dude, you're the cosmic guy. He's classic.
I don't care. You know
Yeah,
who my
I mean,
favorite Captain Marvel is?
I care because he's classic.
Oh,
It's
forget it.
lazy writing. It's lazy writing.
Moving on.
It's lazy writing,
Ja-
goddammit. Oh, hey, that's a
Jason
great one.
said-
Soapbox
Jason
said
said
Shatterstar.
Killed Shatterstar, yeah.
Shatterstar.
Battlestar's super gay.
Fucking
Yeah.
super gay and he's badass. How about a fucking bring Shatterstar to the MCU? I'd be fucking all for that.
They
He's
already
dope.
They killed him in Deadpool already.
Oh yeah, they did. Hey, dude, Quantum Realm's gonna change it all.
We'll see.
We're gonna change all that shit, man.
I wonder how they're
Man,
going to
having
handle two
Richter and Shatterstar in a movie? That would be an X-Men movie? Whew.
Oh, would you say Sam handling two Quicksilvers?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
MCU's is dead, so
So they're just going to move the Fox one in
Yeah.
or something?
yeah, just come on in, man. We got a
Recap.
spot, dude.
Recast all the X-Men. I'm over it. Just slash and burn it. The whole thing.
Me too, Casey. I agree. Finally, me and Casey agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Burn that fucking franchise down, and from the ashes, we'll get something new and better.
Do you really want me to start some shit on your 100th show?
I mean, why else do I have you on?
All right. I argued with my brother today. What is the bigger disappointment of the modern take of movies? X-Men, so that means First Class on, or those weak ass Star Wars movies? Which is more disappointing?
X-Men.
I say Star Wars.
No way.
Star Wars.
Star Wars has only got one bad movie.
They got 2 horrendous movies, 7 and 8.
Awful.
It's not bad.
Awful.
Horrible.
Awful.
guys are crazy.
Casey, it's terrible.
It's fine.
Terrible.
It's terrible, dude. So, okay, so what X-Men movies did you like?
And I loved Days of the Future Past is better than anything Star Wars has done since the original 3.
God, and it wasn't
No.
good.
Come on.
What's better than?
Rogue One.
If we're going offshoot, Logan's better than that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Logan's
Okay,
the best of them
again,
all.
Star Wars falls behind again.
I don't know, man. Just
I
this
told
is
you
tough
it's
for me to
gonna
say
piss
because
people off.
episode 8 completely killed my enthusiasm for Star Wars. And it's by like the
Yes.
slimmest, tiniest line that the comics that Marvel is putting out have kept it alive.
Yes.
Travis and I will tell you
Yes.
that Darth Vader book Charles Soule was doing was like the top of the stack over anything.
Yes. It's fucking fantastic.
Almost anything. But
Almost.
always at the top. But with the X-Men movies, it's like I would just dread hearing about it. Like if I heard Star Wars news, even after 8, I'm like, okay, it's got a clear end in sight. With X-Men, it's like they're literally remaking an X-Men film from 15 years ago or
Yes.
13 years ago.
With no
Right, but-
Wolverine.
But see, I would argue for me it's the other way around because now they come out with Star Wars and say, well, Ryan Johnson's gonna have a whole new trilogy. And I'm like, fucking why?
Well, they've backed off that.
If
They
he gets
good.
new toys,
Yes.
Maybe that's the best decision they've made recently.
Yes.
Then.
if he gets new toys and can play in his own sandbox, I have no reservations about his Star Wars.
You know,
movie.
I would have thought that because I will say that visually 8 was amazing. Like Ryan Johnson did things that I've never seen in a Star Wars movie before visually. Like I loved his cinematography. I loved it. Visually, it was just fucking stunning, I thought. I really did. His grasp of the Star Wars universe is fucked. It's fucked. And for him to go and play like in that universe and maybe I would give it a 50-50 shot because I don't feel like he understands any of those characters that he had at his disposal. I still say we're going to get it's going to be a TMZ exclusive where Ryan Johnson was, or I'm sorry, J.J. Abrams was butt fucking the shit out of his wife, and he totally undid everything that J.J. Abrams did in 7.
But if you hated 7, why do you care?
But here's how
Because I
look at
love
it like
Star
this.
Wars. I
But you
love
hated,
Star Wars.
you hated.
But
I could
you
see if
had-
maybe you liked 7 and you wanted to see where it would go, and then 8 slapped you right in the face and punched
Yes.
you 100 times in the dick,
But-
which would happen to me.
Yes,
But you don't care
But-
anyway. It might as well
I
have
do, but I
look,
do.
been 2015.
I do care
take
because I think
Star Wars,
JJ
right?
can fix it. I hope my prayer, and Sam and I've talked about this several times. I'm praying that there might be some retcon involved. I don't know, but I'm hoping that JJ can fix it. I love the Star Wars universe. I love it. And to your point, Casey, you said that if I heard something about a new Star Wars movie, I would be way more excited about that than an X-Men movie. Before the merger, the Fox Disney merger, I would have totally agreed with you. Totally agree with you.
They
Like-
shouldn't make another X-Men movie for 10 years.
Even with Marvel behind it?
No, just wait it out. Just people aren't clamoring for it. If you made an X-Men movie in the next 5 years, people would still be like, "Oh God!" But we're still
Sure.
waiting for New Mutants to come out. I don't know how to feel about.
I mean, you do make a good point. That is a valid point. Like, let some time go by. Let us rinse that taste out of our mouth of the Ratner X-Men movies and shit. And
All you have to do is throw one Avengers character in some sort of cameo in that new Marvel X-Men movie, and everyone will go see it again. That's all you have to do.
I would be pumped.
See? That's
I'd be
so
pumped,
here-
Casey.
here,
I'm
let me-
telling
Let
you.
me ask you about this about
No.
Star Wars. So you had 3 fantastic movies originally, right? So when did the last one come out? 83?
yeah.
83? Okay.
1983.
So then you got the prequels, right?
Yep.
What would you rate them? D, F, and C, maybe?
No, the prequels aren't. I watched them last year, and they're not as bad.
The second one is.
Second one is pretty bad, but I
Sure.
wouldn't give it an F. I'd probably give it a C in terms of
Okay.
films. It's fine.
Okay.
Like I can watch that movie from end to end, and there's plenty of good action.
Man.
That's
So,
You can't
so I'm
tell me you
looking-
can
okay,
watch that
then you
movie and
got-
not enjoy the fight in the Geonosis arena. It's great.
I
There's-
guess I get a little bit of entertainment when Yoda's flipping around and
Yeah.
stuff. So okay, so I sit through 2.5 hours for 5 minutes.
that's true.
Maybe all right. I mean,
sucks.
look,
But-
I'm not saying these are the greatest films ever made, but there's watchable quality of them. And
Sure,
one
but-
thing that
but
you
I mean-
can't argue is that they have the essence of Star Wars.
Okay, but then I would argue that Meet Joe Black is good because I sit through 3 hours just to see your girl's titties for 2 minutes. I can't call that a
Wait,
good movie.
Is that not a good film? I actually like that movie.
Oh, the movie's
I like that
horrible.
movie. That
but-
movie's
I like that movie.
That movie's good.
But anyway, so here's how I'm looking at it. If you got, I would say no great movie from Star Wars since 1983.
Wow.
You got good. I like Rogue One, and I
Mhm.
thought Solo was decent.
Okay.
But none of the prequels, what I say, are good, and 7 and 8 I can't say are good.
Yeah.
So since 1983, 36 years, we've had 2 good movies out of 7.
Yeah.
Where's that add up? If I had a bitch that used to fuck me and it was great, but it hasn't been that good for 36 years, I would have been with her for a long time.
Think about it in terms of how many X-Men movies have there been? Like 10?
X-Men,
First
yeah.
one is not good.
Okay. Second
you-
one's good.
Second one is the absolute best one. The third one is terrible.
Third
Right?
was terrible. Yes.
The first
First class is
Wolverine-
okay.
the first Wolverine solo movie is an abortion.
Yes.
Horrible. Horrible.
It's terrible.
Horrible.
Okay.
Or the
The
second
Wolverine in Japan was okay.
Yeah, it's all
it
right.
was okay until the fucking Transformer
Silver
Silver
Samurai.
Samurai at the end. Yes.
Listen,
It was good until that point.
It was good
Yes.
till that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
First Class is fine.
It's okay.
Not
Yeah.
I don't
Days of Future
love it as
Past
much as
is
other people.
good.
Future Past I actually enjoyed a lot, but I can see
I
why
did.
some people think it's a dumpster fire.
I loved it.
Yeah. Apocalypse is horrible.
Horrible. Horrible. And then you
Horrible.
got Logan,
Logan is great.
one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Sure. But it's like 50-50. For every good one you get, there's another bad one or almost
I agree. And I'm not arguing that X-Men is good, but
Right.
50-50 is better than Star Wars is batting.
Yeah.
And I think the trend tick is up for the X-Men franchise though, because now Marvel gets them.
Right. Right.
And I just seen an article the other day where the Russos were inquiring about one of them. Wasn't Wolverine. Maybe in one of the other. Wasn't Gambit. It may be one of the other
what
mutants.
single
But
X-Men do you think can really carry a movie?
which like a solo movie?
Yeah, like a solo movie for the X-Men.
None.
Just Wolverine.
Wolverine. Some of the villains, you could do a Magneto movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I would think Cyclops, no. Storm, no. Angel, are you fucking kidding me?
No, well, actually, I think you could do a Storm movie.
I think you could do a
there's
Storm
audience
movie
for
too. And especially if you did a Storm and Black Panther movie.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That'd be a good way to rope it in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay, Casey. Let's look at it like this.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's not think about the X-Men in their own little shit universe that they've fucking stewed in. We're going to put them in the MCU, and there's going to be interactions with Cap and Panther and Thor, and you know what I mean? So, like, there's a ton of shit we could do.
Most of these actors are done.
You're right. They are. And I believe Phase 4, they're going cosmic. You know, I mean, that's what they're going to do. And
I mean,
recently, what'd you say, Case?
I was gonna say you could still kind of have that thing where it's Wolverine and Bucky, but it's like,
Yeah.
does it still work as well as a Wolverine Cap? Like, you'll never join the Avengers, Mister. Not while I'm alive. Like, you know, that kind of stuff from that old annual
Right.
where they pretty much meet for the first
To-
time.
Tony in the chat said that, but the Storm actress said she didn't want to do that.
New
Yes, Tony.
actors, we're doing new actors.
Yeah,
everything.
she's
Yeah,
done,
we do
Tony.
that.
She gone.
For sure.
She out.
For sure.
Like,
it.
Yeah.
bitches, and they don't get to fucking say what they want to do anyway, especially
X-Men-
Storm.
Yeah,
X-Men
under
Dark
contract.
Phoenix is about
So,
to end.
so,
the whole
so,
of
Tony, So Tony, the agent calls this Storm actress. We don't even know her name, and goes, "Hey, Storm actress, the MCU wants to do a standalone movie with you and the cat that play. What's the guy's name? Plays Black Panther."
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman once said he really liked what you did in Dark Phoenix and would like to do a movie. After she unsticks herself from her chair, she's gonna fucking scream, yes, 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 please God, yes, it makes my career, yes.
Yeah.
Especially when she gets like that $10 million she'll get.
All right, hey guys, we and it's cool, it's totally fine. We rabbit holed the fucking shit out of Endgame, the MCU, the Fox merger. That's kind of what we do here, though, and I really like this. But I don't want to run too long, but we did have some talking points, and I really want to, for the comic book fans out there, I really want to talk about this. But I wanted you guys to give your favorite hero and your favorite comic book series of all time. And this was fucking hard for me. Like, it was so fucking hard. Casey, it sounded like it was pretty easy for you.
Oh, mine was at the tip of my tongue. Like I've got that as I'm like ready to go anytime, always prepared. You ask me, people on the street, like, "Hey, who's your favorite comic book character?" It's like, do you know me? It's the Silver Surfer. Like,
I knew the book, I knew your comic, and I knew Sam's too.
Yeah.
Character, you actually did throw me through a loop with yours. I'll be honest.
I got a few. So Klotz in the chat would know this. When I was on Breaking the Panel, I always used to say that my favorite character was Morph. From the Exiles. He's the shape-shifting X-Man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. But they killed him off, and I'm still super mad about it.
Yeah.
So I had to bump him down a couple of slots also because I really, like, you don't see him anywhere. So if you tell somebody, hey, this is my favorite character, and they go to you, who, it's kind of like, all right, I don't want to get into a whole thing. So you pick somebody, who else is high up on that list that people would know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are familiar with who the Silver Surfer is.
Yes.
Movie or not.
Yeah.
Casey, tell me you read that the Mike Allred run.
Sam, I have read every single issue that the Silver Surfer has shown up in since 1965.
I love it. That Allred run is probably my top 10 of favorite runs.
That might be the greatest romantic comic I've
Period.
read my entire life.
Period.
And for those of you playing at home, the Silver Surfer falls in love with an Earth woman, and he has kind of these Doctor Who kind of adventures with, which you might not be on board with if you don't like Doctor Who, but it's a million times better than Doctor Who ever could be. And it's over the course of about 3 years of comic books, their relationship slowly grows. It's real. And it's crazy because this guy's thousands of years old and she's in her 20s and worlds collide. He literally pulls the universe together to be with her when he thinks that maybe he'll never see her again. And it ends with them living an entire life together before the birth of the universe. And when she dies, she becomes the Kirby Crackle energy that is iconic to the character.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
I'll tell you that realistically, as I read it, I had to reevaluate my relationship with my girlfriend just to make sure, does she stack up? Is this good enough? Can I do better? Do I want more out of it?
Fellas, if you can take a page from Silver Surfer and give your girl the universe, more power to you.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
yeah.
And that's what these stories do, right? They move you.
Yeah.
I've read several issues and been like, oh, dude, that was badass. And then I put it, I sleeve it, I put it in my box, and it never enters my mind again unless somebody brings it up. But when you read that issue and it stays fucking with you, and then everyday life, you start to compare it, and you're like, wow, man, those are just fucking. That's the reason we love this medium, right? We love.
It's not
this
often
shit.
that something will just hit you on such a personal level, but there's something about the way that comic books are written, the people who write them, and that it's such a visual, bombastic medium. There's nothing like it. That's the reason I keep reading, because there's nothing like American comic books.
Right. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yep.
Sam, who's your favorite?
It's hard for me to choose. You know, I there's really three that I kick back between, and that's the Ninja Turtles, Daredevil, and Swamp Thing.
Wait a minute.
So
Is that 3 choices or 6?
Well, I'm going to take the 4 brothers and make them one.
Okay.
Okay. But I think for favorite hero, because we're going with singular hero, I'm going to put it at Daredevil.
Okay.
Why?
So,
Why? What's about Daredevil speaks to you?
you know, I think originally the reason why is my dad told me a story, and he collected comics when he was a kid, and everyone knows a story like this, but he went off to college. His mother, my grandmother, axed him, got rid of all of them for space. And in that was several fantastic issues. But the one he remembered the most and the one that upset him the most that was gone was Daredevil #1. Pristine condition, bagged and boarded, everything.
Classic yellow and brown
1964.
suit. We're talking all the way back.
Yeah, all 1964. Because he went off to college in 1971, I believe, and she got rid of them all.
Oh,
And so ever since, it kills me. And so ever since I was a little kid, he would tell me this story. I would look at my grandmother side-eyed, you know, but she doesn't know that. But it was something about this Daredevil, because out of all his comics he had, he could rattle off all these comics he had from the mid and early 60s and everything. He said it was Daredevil #1. And so for whatever, I guess as a kid, that piqued my interest. You know, you like what your dad likes or whatever. And as you read Daredevil, although I would consider him probably a B character, you know, I don't think he's quite A-lister. He's had so many fantastic runs between Frank Miller and Ann Nocenti and Bendis and Brubaker and then Charles Soule. And it just keeps going on and on.
Mark
and
Waid.
on.
The
Mark
Wade
Waid
Sammy
now.
run.
Yeah, the Mark Waid run, which I currently, one of my best friends, I have him, he's borrowing all my hard covers of that, reading Mark Waid right now as we speak. And the current run, 3 issues in, is fantastic with Chip Zdarsky. And just everything that's written about him is great. You know, there's every story is good. And for whatever reason, he's that guy that gets knocked down. He continues to get up. You know, he's blind, so he's already facing some struggles and things. He loves women like I do, and it never tends to work out, which for the most part has been the story of my life too. You know, so
hey. Art imitates life sometimes, right?
Yeah, and you know, I teach martial arts, and that's a big part of his you know, character. And although, you know, I'm not overly religious, I really find religions interesting. You know, the commonalities between them, the differences, and you know, he's a very Catholic character, and so bringing in some of that heaven hell stuff in the Catholic guild and confession and scenes with the priest and things like that, I think it's really interesting, and you don't get it in a lot of characters.
Sure. Yeah. No, he's a good one. And just to kind of piggyback on your Daredevil story, I was at Value City with my mom. I don't know how old I was. I was in middle school. I know that. And there was the Frank Miller book. It was the Daredevil comic where Bullseye had fell out of the building, or Daredevil threw him out of the building. I forget. And he shattered all his bones. He was in body cast.
He fell off the clothesline. They were like tightrope walking, and Daredevil jumps and he falls.
And Daredevil has the gun. And
Yeah.
the issue was Roulette.
That's his last issue.
Was that Miller's last issue?
Yeah.
Dude.
Just the cover is just like
that fucking comic, man. As a middle school kid, I was like, what the fuck is Daredevil? He's playing Russian roulette with Bullseye. And to this day, it's like, if I had a top 10 of my favorite single issues of all time, Roulette would definitely be in that top 10.
That definitely would be in my top 10 favorite covers of all, like most iconic covers of all time.
Yeah, where he's got the gun and it's like,
yeah,
it's all that profile shot or that straight on shot.
Yeah, it kind of looks evil looking.
I'm like Sam. I went back and forth of my top 3. My top 3 have kind of always been my top 3 since I can remember. And it goes from Batman to Cap to Thor. and I've always loved these three. And
Hey, just like Duke, Travis stays with those A-listers. You know?
I stay with the A-listers,
Duke.
baby. I stay with the A-listers. And I've got some obscure heroes too that I like, but you know, the guys that I'm gravitated to. So I really had to think about it. I had to come up with one, right? I know it was tough for everybody but Casey, obviously. But Cap. It's going to be Cap for me. And I guess the book that really solidified it for me was The Winter Soldier. Brubaker's run.
Brubaker.
It was like, I loved Cap. I loved what he stood for and everything, but there was never for me that definitive story that I could go to. Like with Batman, it's The Dark Knight Returns, right? Like, I had been away from school for a long time. I just came home. I ran into a buddy of mine, Troy Patton. He was in the chat earlier. He goes, "Hey, man, you still collect comics?" I'm like, "Man, I really haven't had the money or the time here lately." And he goes, "Dude, you got to read Dark Knight Returns."
Back when it was less than $1 an issue.
What?
Back when it was less than $1 an issue.
Let me tell you something, Casey. Let me tell you something. I'll never forget this. And you poor motherfuckers in the chat, y'all remember it too. When I was in college, I was so broke. A Burger King, I live like, the only reason I got on my apartment that I got on campus was because two Mexicans stabbed each other to death on the volleyball courts and an apartment came open. There was still, when I moved in, they still had their shit in there because the dead dude's family never came and got his shit. So anyway, there was a Burger King in walking distance. They had a commercial. And when I heard this jingle, this song, for this commercial, I got so excited because I knew I got to eat twice that day. And it was, I got double vision. And it was 2 Whoppers for $2. I would go, skip my little broke ass to Burger King, grab 2 Whoppers, put one in the refrigerator for dinner. I ate one for lunch, I had one for dinner. So 99 cents for a comic back then, that was a Whopper for me. So I didn't get into I would read them, but I'd put them back on the fucking shelf because I couldn't afford them. So anyway, read The Dark Knight Returns. It totally reinvigorated my passion for comic books again. It's still to this day one of my all-time favorite like story arcs stories. But yeah, Cap, Winter Soldier, that was what did it for me, man. I just love what Cap stands for. He don't back down. He always makes the tough decision.
I got a question for Casey then. So Travis said, you know, he took some time away from comics due to financial reasons and probably some other stuff in college too. You know, probably.
There's always a distraction for a young man.
Nah.
Right. You know, and so Dark Knight Returns kind of kicked him back. Casey, did you ever break away from comics for a little bit? And if so, what brought you back? If not, what was the story that you remember that just hooked you and you were like, I'm going to do this for life?
Well, I can tell you the first comic book I read as a kid that made me start looking at them more regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I had read, when I was a kid, my dad had some comics and he saw that I liked the cartoons like Batman the Animated Series on TV, you know, because I was, you know, when I was 5 or 6, like those shows were still going, like Animated Series started in like 92. He brought me home a 3-pack of comic books that had an issue of Iron Man, an issue of Mutant X, and an issue of, I believe, Sensational Spider-Man. And I read that Iron Man story, and he goes to this rich white ass people party where everybody's dressed up like superheroes and they're getting drugs from the power broker and stuff. So they're like flying around being like drunk, high assholes. I don't know why that stuck with me. The cover is Iron Man flying up screaming like Christ, and people are like trying to pull him down. It's like, it's so surreal. It's like not even, I think Frank Thierry wrote it. It's not even like a great issue, but it's just bizarre. The Mutant X issue, that's the series that takes place in the alternate universe where Storm's a vampire and Beast kept mutating, and for some reason Havoc's leading the X-Men, but like who cares? And it's an introspective story where the Brute, who's Hank McCoy, but like even more mutated, and like he has the intelligence of a child. He gets his intelligence back for a day, and it's almost like a Flowers for Algernon kind of story, but you get to really see like how far his life has come and like how like tragic his story is now, even in a series where nothing means anything because it's an alternate reality. And that one stuck with me too. There's like a real heart, like, and strange things in these comics. And the last one was the wizard is hunting Spider-Man through a sewer. Like, who cares? But I picked up that 3-pack at, he got it for me at like a CVS or something.
Yeah.
And from then on, I'm just like, this is all I want to read. You know, I started picking up trade paperbacks. You know, this was before, I guess, I don't want to say before the internet, but before I was on the internet and you had things like forums and huge recommendation lists. So
Yeah.
I would go to like a Barnes and Noble, and, you know, I would go to a local comic book store and I would pick up single issues of comics. And, you know, now I've got 10,000 of them sitting in my next room. But from there, it kept going. There were times where I thought I would stop.
Right.
I was disappointed with a lot of DC's material when they did Rebirth in 2012, or not Rebirth.
New 52.
DC New. The new DC universe. That was a disappointment on almost all fronts, but then they really bounced back with Rebirth. I stopped reading DC pretty much since then up until Rebirth happened. So it was like four years, something like that.
Wow.
Marvel lost me almost for a while. I was super disillusioned with Secret Empire. That story took almost 2 years. I mean, Travis will
Thank
tell
you, Nick Spencer.
It's like, look, it's not a bad story per se. You can do a story where Captain America turns evil. Do it for 6 months. Don't do it for 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to see that. I want
Exactly.
a good guy Cap that isn't just the Falcon. Falcon
Right.
Cap rules. He's
Right.
great. But, you know, if you have regular Cap hanging around and you see him in books like Avengers and you know he's pretending to be a good guy, it just takes away from everything I'm reading.
It really does.
So that was a huge blow. Like things like Jim Zub's Avengers, like No Surrender. They put Rogue on the Avengers when Rick Remender did Uncanny Avengers. Like there was stuff that kept kind of dragging me back in, but it was like at an arm's length. And now
Sure.
I'm back in full week to week,
Yeah.
30 comics a week, like
Excellent.
reading everything that I can.
I feel like, and I said this on the show before, I feel like that this new, I don't want to call them a rat pack, but this new crop of new writers, new comic book writers. I know Kate's and them have been doing shit before, but like I really feel like with Aaron, which, you know, Aaron was doing the indie shit, fantastic indie shit, right? But now, like with these guys, it's like this new, they're the new Perez, they're the new Grant Morrisons, they're the new Mark Wade's. Like these guys are, I think they're fucking fantastic. And I'm like you, Casey, I'm like, you know, when I was a kid, I remember when Image Comics started, right? And like okay, right? You say that now, but I was a fucking pumped. I'm like McFarlane, Jim Lee, Larson. Somebody kicked me in the nuts for even saying that. But I'm like, these guys are going to be doing their own comics and creating their own characters. It's going to be the fucking best thing ever.
Yeah, their whole attitude was, fuck it, we don't need writers.
Right.
You do.
And that was my metamorphosis into, holy shit, pretty pictures don't mean shit if there's those word bubbles don't have nothing in them. And I've been now, don't get me wrong. And Sam will tell you, in case you will too, you get a writer like Jason Aaron, Asad Rabik on Thor, and it's goddamn peanut butter and fucking jelly.
Oh,
like
man.
it is the greatest marriage of two skills that there can be. So don't get me wrong, but like I would much rather read a well-written story than I would one that just looks pretty. Like the Silver Surfer. Who was the artist on that?
Mike
All
Allred.
Who?
Mike and Laura Allred.
Yeah, don't like his art. Really do not like his art. But that was still a fantastic story.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well, at least even if you don't like it, at least the art was good enough where it was serviceable. Like
exactly, and it was
didn't
serviceable.
fail to deliver on the narrative.
Yes.
My issue is more because you have to have both to me.
Yeah.
But I don't like when they constantly are switching artists. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that hurt Charles Soule's run on Daredevil.
Yes.
The story was great, but it doesn't rank up there for me with the Wade and with the Miller and with the Bendis and Brubaker, because every 3 or 4 issues with different artists. And as I'm reading it, especially if I'm going back reading it as a collected series, it takes me out of it. Like I'm not lost in it anymore. I remember I'm reading something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a problem to me.
It's tough for artists these days to keep something like a schedule.
For sure.
You know, because I read something interesting. I forget who said it, but it was like the new age of comic book artists, right? Everybody's a fan now. Back in the 60s, you had talented artists, you know, guys like John Buscema, who were drawing before the idea of a superhero was like the main thing that they had dreamed of doing.
Right.
You know, whether they went to art school, whatever. Now you have, you know, guys like Sean Murphy. We love Sean Murphy here on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even, you know, even if you go 20 years back, 30 years back, a John Byrne, a Walt Simonson, these guys learned to draw from looking at finished artwork of the 1960s, which took teams of 2 to 3 people. Like Kirby would whip up pencils and then Mike Royer would do inks over it. And these guys are like, the level of detail I need to do just in pencils alone needs to look like finished art. So when they ink on top of it, there's even more and more detail.
Right.
You know, the guys in the game now with cross hatching and all this stuff, like imagine having to do that 24 pages a month, every month, keeping a deadline. You got to stay ahead of it because publication takes time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. And the game has changed, but it's also changed for the better too, because I know he's not in the chat right now, but Brian Rodman, he has that, I don't know what the fuck it is. Like, I'm not an artist. I'm like the furthest thing from that spectrum, but like the way they can draw now on their computer boards or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. The tablets like Cintiqs and
yes. Like I've heard them talk about them. And they're like, dude, it's a game changer. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, so that has helped, but I'm with you. The level of detail, especially like Sean Murphy or Jermaine Opeña. I mean, like, you could just sit there and stare at shit.
Fucking Alex Ross.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That guy, like, he's probably the most like successful artist in comic books ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I
just
don't even consider him an artist.
he's
He's like a painter.
He's an actual well, look,
But
they're
he's
all
a
actual
real
artists, but
artist.
he is a traditional artist. He does literature and things like that. But I mean, this dude got to start in comic books, man.
Yes.
Drawing stuff like Marvels and Kingdom Come. Like he
God,
would,
he's
you
so
know,
good.
I read about his process in Wizard when he was doing Justice.
Yes, I read that.
He's like, I do a painted page in 2 days. I'm like, get out of here. You can make that in 2 days?
There's no way.
Right.
Have you ever seen his YouTube videos of him sketching?
Yeah.
Just like, it's not even finished shit. And it's like, oh my God, how the fuck did you do that just now? I mean,
these
dude
guys
is a fucking
are just
Picasso,
on a level
dude.
just beyond even my comprehension. Like I
Right.
draw in my spare time. I do graphic stuff.
Yeah.
No big deal. But I'm consistently blown away. And I've been reading comics for almost my entire life, 25 years. I've been reading comic books. And it's just they keep scaling it up.
It really is.
Never fails to impress. The best of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I think along with our writers, we have some new art like Sorrentino. Like his art, like very few art, like you can have great art. Okay, Jim Lee. Jim Lee's like one of my all-time fucking favorite artists. It's iconic comic book shit to me,
He's
right?
clear-cut. He is the modern definitive comic book artist.
He really is.
You want to read a Batman? Here's Hush. What do you think of the designs of all these villains?
Yes.
Iconic. Done.
But Sorrentino or Sorrento, he actually has the ability with his artwork to transport me somewhere. Like in Gideon
like the
Falls.
Red Barn.
Huh?
Like
Right.
Red Barn.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sorry.
He's reading that. He's not reading that, Casey.
Oh.
What?
Gideon
I'm not reading what?
Falls.
I didn't hear you.
The Red
Gideon
Barn.
Falls.
He takes you to the Red Barn.
Who's not reading it?
You.
Gideon Falls?
Yeah,
You're
dude.
reading Gideon Falls.
Dude, do you not watch the Blazing Defender reports?
Yeah.
Gideon
Yeah.
Falls was in my top books of the year.
okay.
It's like for the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's because I told you about it.
Well, maybe, but it's
I'm just
fucking
joking.
amazing. Dude, I tell everybody about Gideon Falls.
Blazing
Yeah.
Defender Civil War. Whose side are you on?
Shit. He's not
Sorry,
reading it, Casey.
I should
I
make
tell
a-
everybody to read that shit.
I should make a correction. It is the Black
Sam don't
Barn.
listen to the show.
Yeah.
Fucking, he's only on here when I ask him to be. Otherwise, how do you get a podcast on my phone? I don't know how to do it. But yes, his art is like acid trip. Like, oh my God, like I am transported somewhere just by looking at his artwork, his visuals, page by page. And like he has destroyed the 6-panel, 9-panel page notion. Like he's all over the place. Sometimes you got to fucking turn the page. I mean, that is a portal. That page is nothing but a fucking portal for him to put you into that story. He's amazing.
And guys like J.H. Williams.
Oh yeah,
He did Batwoman for a while, but I mean, when he was on Promethea back in the day with Alan Moore, that is a comic that, like, the last issue, you literally have to fold it out, tear it apart into a poster to be able to read the whole thing. It's outrageous, the scope of what an artist like that is capable
he
of.
did the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover book,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
It's so good.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And the movie comes out in like a month or two, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it looks pretty good from like what they've shown, like just little screenshots that they've shown the trailer for it. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Bruce. Is Bruce Timm doing Batman's voice?
I'm not sure.
I think he is.
No, not
Okay.
Bruce Timm.
Not Bruce Timm. I'm sorry.
Greenwood?
Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy's doing it. Yeah, because I remember when I seen that, I was like, "That it's amazing how big a difference a voice makes."
Yeah.
Because like, have you seen the trailer for Hush?
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
I didn't even know they were making an animated Hush movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
seen
thank
the
gosh.
trailer.
That's
And
great.
I don't like the dude that's doing the voice for Batman.
It looks like Troy Baker is doing Batman and Batman Ninja Turtles,
Okay.
which is fine, I guess.
Yeah.
When was he Batman before? I don't actually remember. Whatever. Forget it.
Or like
Oh, he's
like
Batman
you
in the
said,
Telltale
voices
games.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a decent Batman.
How great was it in Dark Knight Returns, the animated movie they did, the adaptation, to have RoboCop? in his
Yeah,
voice? It was
Peter Weller.
perfect. Yeah, it was perfect.
It was
Oh, yeah.
perfect. And I didn't think I would like it because it wasn't, Tim or Conroy. And when as the movie went on, I was like, oh, fuck, I ain't gonna like this. And as it went on, I was like, oh shit, this is perfect. Like
Yeah.
older, grizzled Batman, like it's what he would sound like, right?
But
So
still had like a little bit of class to him,
yeah. That's
was-
one of the best animated movies there is.
I think it's number one for me.
Oh,
Period.
well, are we doing this now? I mean, this is a theoretical talking point, but
What hasn't been a theoretical talking point on this show?
Right.
the best Batman movie ever made is Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Don't,
is good,
Don't
but-
grumble. You know it to be true.
Okay,
No,
I think what Sam meant was a comic book adapting.
It is.
Phantasm
Yeah,
is?
It's based
Yeah.
on Batman Year 2.
yeah.
Kind of. Mostly.
So there was
I
a Mask of
put-
the Phantasm comic.
I put
Well,
No.
there was.
That was
Not-
an original story.
not explicit. No, okay.
Dark Knight
Batman-
Returns wasn't. So it was an adaptation of the story.
Right.
It was the
This-
best comic book adaptation.
I put Mask of the Phantasm third for me. I gotta
Third?
put Dark Knight Returns,
Okay.
Under the Red Hood too.
Okay.
Mask of the
I will-
Phantasm 3.
Under the Red Hood, I could give you on a couple of levels because Judd Winnick wrote the movie also.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
it's
true.
just like the comic.
When he starts right off the bat beating Robin with that crowbar, I'd never seen anything like it in a superhero movie, animated or legit. I was
Brutal.
like, holy shit, this is
That's
brutal.
true, yeah. That's damn it, Phantasm was so good.
Yeah.
Was good.
All right, just to Batman Year 2 is a story called Fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
So it's got a skeleton kind of fearsome new bad guy who has a scythe for a hand. And the main crux of the story is Batman revisiting his past and reconsidering becoming Batman in the first place. So
Yeah.
close. Doesn't have the Joker, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
That's pretty.
I don't know.
I didn't. Yeah, you're right. Until you said that, I really didn't put that together. To be honest, I don't know. Mask of the Phantasm is its own thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll be honest, I had never seen the Batman animated cartoon
Oh man, it is
before
the
I
best
seen
version of Batman.
Mask of the Phantasms would start it for me. I was like, And they're like, dude, this is a fucking, it's a show. It's on Cartoon Network. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And they're like, it's so good. And I loved it. Like
the origin of Harley Quinn, man. The origin of Harley was an animated character before she was in the comic books.
oh, right. Yes, that's right. And somebody else too. Damien?
No, he's not in that show.
There
Well,
was another.
I guess Batman Beyond now, because Batman Beyond's had comics for years.
Yeah.
There's Lockup, who's the jail warden.
Yeah.
I mean, it just brought back so many people into the fold. It reinvented Mr. Freeze. Like, whoever Mr. Freeze was before the animated series, like, doesn't even matter.
Right.
Because since 1992,
True.
he's got the tragic. So they might as well have just created Mr. Freeze for that show. Most
Casey, you
iconic
were
Joker
going
of all-
to, you and your girlfriend were going to do a show of watching the animated series from the beginning, right?
Yeah, that hasn't started yet.
Oh man, that's a great
I get-
idea.
I listen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real fun time. The whole reason we even thought of that was because she introduced me to Young Justice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good too.
That is a
I
good show.
I skipped out on that. I'm like, I don't listen. I put my heart and soul into the DC animated universe. I'm not ready to start on something new. I don't want to get invested. And then she's like, so there's an episode where Captain Marvel is caught between two worlds where all of the adults are disappeared into another dimension. And because he's a child and an adult, he can travel between both worlds. And there's a mystical cabal. I'm like, I'm fucking sold. I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, you've got me.
Wow, that does sound awesome.
Oh, Travis, that show is so metal. And the third season, the first half, like, is on the. If you don't have the DC network now,
Yeah.
I tell people straight up, you're missing out.
Yeah, I need to get because I love Titans. I love Doom Patrol.
Swamp Thing's coming.
Swamp
coming.
Thing's coming.
I was just gonna say it. It's coming.
But I
Yeah.
have to wait and see what Disney's going to charge for their streaming service because that's going to be a fucking must-have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier and Falcon show. Are you kidding me?
It's just.
I'm more
It turns out
excited
to
for
just be a
Swamp
talk
Thing.
show, though.
What's that, Sam?
I'm more excited for Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, trust me. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be fucking awesome. Have you watched Doom Patrol?
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
It's fucking batshit crazy, dude.
so
It's
fun.
better than
that
Titans.
the episode with the goat,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? But I couldn't stop watching it. It's so good.
I liked it more than Titans.
Yeah.
I
thought it was
love
a step up.
Titans. It's different to me than Titans.
Yeah,
I
it is.
I
It is.
love Titans. I love the use or not use of Batman. I think it's fucking genius. I don't know why it's taken them this long to do something like that. Like, I love the use of Batman. Like, you never seen, but he's damn near in every episode somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I like the casting a whole bunch. I know people have been really shitty about Starfire.
She was good.
But I mean, I think it's going to be fucking fantastic. Sorry, Alpha Male, but you're probably in the wrong show, brother. Thanks
Oh,
for stopping
man.
in,
Yeah.
but the cussing is not going to stop. I promise you.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, the DC streaming, I've watched all the Titans. I'm not going to tell you how, but I've seen all the Titans. I've seen all the Doom Patrol, but you know, the MCU, the DC streaming is going to be fucking nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And their animated movies are so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you ever play, Casey? I know you're a gamer. Did you ever play Marvel Alliance?
Avengers
oh
Alliance.
yeah, Ultimate
Okay.
Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance or Avengers Alliance?
I
Ultimate
don't
Alliance
know.
was the party based game where you would get 4 characters and you could rotate them on the fly and you just fight wave after wave and it had everybody in it. Avengers
No,
Alliance,
this was more of a
Facebook game.
no,
They got
no. No, this was this had like, I posted it earlier today. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. Thank you, Tony. Dude,
Okay.
This has the best animated cutscenes even today. Like, I don't know why they couldn't give us a movie with this level of animation in the cutscenes. Like, if you've never seen it, look at go to the Blazing Defender Report Facebook page. I think it's one of my last posts before, I went live today. and I was just rewatching these scenes, and it's fucking gorgeous.
The whole
And-
climax of that game, and I'm not going to say spoilers for anybody who hasn't played a game that came out almost 20 years ago.
yeah,
but,
no,
like,
you don't have to. No.
Doctor Doom with the Twilight Sword getting the power of Odin, and then when his plan falls apart, Odin just smites him on the spot.
Yeah. That's it. Did you remember the scene where I think the frost giants are like invading Asgard?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, what I remember most out of that, like the Frost Giant invasion is cool, but the when you see Galactus in that,
Yes.
so over detailed, it's like Mobius drew him or something.
Yeah, guys, I have to correct myself. It wasn't MAA. It wasn't
No.
the Facebook game. This was a game that was on what was it originally on? PlayStation.
I played it on GameCube. I think it was on our Wii,
Okay.
like back then. This was like 2006. So
Okay,
maybe
so Jason is saying it was on PS4 before they pulled it. Might have to pull it up and play. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
on PS1. Okay, I
No,
thought I played it on
not-
PS1.
not PS1. It's got to be at least PS2. This game came out in like 2004.
Yeah, it's old, man. But that's what I'm saying. That level of cutscenes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could watch a fucking movie like that. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
man.
so good.
Hey, you might get it. You heard that they're doing that What If series, right?
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
like it's animated. I don't know if it's 3D or 2D.
I didn't
but
realize it was going to be animated.
I'm 90% sure. it's
Okay.
animated.
Hey, I'm fucking for that. You know how much they could do? Oh my god. Worlds
Especially
are
if they,
fucking
if they
oyster-
use the rights to everything. You could do What If Thor battled Conan,
Oh my
but animated.
god.
Now that's not so
Shit.
special because Conan's hanging around with everybody. But in
Oh.
1980, it was a big deal. Tell you.
So
10 years
are you
before
reading
I
new
was alive,
Conan?
it was- What?
Are you reading Jason Aaron's Conan?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
Oh.
god, it's so fucking good.
yeah. And he just, now he's in Avengers: No Surrender. He showed up. He's teaming up with the Scarlet Witch and
Yes.
Hyboria. It's,
Yeah.
it's
I've been
rad.
reading those. Have you read those, Sam?
No.
Oh my god. Like it's so good. Now Aaron's not doing that story.
Okay.
The Far From Home story. He's not doing that, but he is doing the Conan book, and it's so good because they're like going through different periods of his life. It's not like a linear story where like each issue takes place after the next one, but
Yeah.
it's an all-encompassing story about a witch that's trying to resurrect a god with death magic. And the more that you cheat death, the stronger death magic becomes in your blood. And who has more fucking death magic in their blood than Conan?
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so fucking good. Like,
I saw Jason Jones is trying to get you on your 100th episode. He said he preferred Al Ewing to Jason Aaron. I said,
yeah, that's the
oh,
reason I didn't respond to it.
It's
he's
tough
trying
call.
to cut you off, man.
It's
I don't
like
know.
somebody saying they like Duke over Kentucky. It's just not even something I'm going to fucking discuss. 'cause it's
Jason Aaron made
ridiculousness.
Travis love Lady Thor.
He did.
That takes a lot.
It did, and
takes a
I was not for that. And I was reading a letters page where Aaron said that Lady Thor was the story that he was wanting to tell. Like God Butcher, Thor, God of Thunder, those were great stories. But this is the story he wanted to tell, and I'm like, all right, man, all right, let's do this. All right, let's do it. And there was several issues I didn't like about it. There was a lot of fluff, but the issues that were good were really, really, really good. So, but Aaron's like that. I hated his first 4 or 5 issues on Avengers.
Yeah.
Fucking hated them.
Slow
The
going.
Sixth Celestial, I hated it.
Yeah, the 1 million BC Avengers.
I love that. I thought that was a very cool idea.
That's okay. I don't know how to feel about it.
But most of that first arc was that Sixth Celestial, and I hated the voice that he gave Cap. I thought it was goofy. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? And then when the Vampire Civil War arc started, holy fucking shit, I was all in.
Yeah.
Like with Blade and
Dude, you want to read a great vampire story?
yeah.
Captain Britain and the MI-13. This was from back around. That book started with Secret Invasion, but this was, I think, the last run of the arc. Excalibur. Well, it's not really Excalibur, but it's Excalibur. whatever. They fight Dracula in a spaceship on the moon. And he's literally fighting. He has like blood bombs. Like he's shooting vampires out of cannons at Earth and causing huge explosions. It's wild. There's a scene where Dracula meets with Dr. Doom on the moon and they're standing next to like the lander that's still up there, you know?
Yeah.
They're just hanging out. And he's like, don't get close to me, Count. I've taken precautions. I have pieces of the true cross of Christ in my armor. I'm like, of course he does. Like, this
Holy
is wild.
shit.
Dracula negotiates a non-aggression pact with Latveria over the rest of Earth. Like, it's wild.
Who wrote it?
Cornell, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man. And who did Leonard Kirk? I think did the art.
Okay.
Solid book, man.
Yeah.
Like even the story that's not about vampires. Like they fight magic scrolls. It's crazy.
Wow.
That whole run. It's like 15 issues. It's so good.
Yeah, it sounds really
man.
good.
I love Marvel Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel Dracula's he's a powerhouse.
He's badass.
Like he's beat the Hulk and everything apparently. Like
Doctor Strange couldn't kill him.
that right there says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I won't spoil if you've not read the Avengers Vampire Civil War story arc yet. You really should, especially if you're a Blade fan, because it's like his reintroduction in the MCU or the Marvel comic universe. It's so well done. But like Dracula's a fucking pimp. Like, and you won't even realize it until you do, and you're like, holy shit. Like, I read that last issue, and I was like, I had sat there for a minute. And then about 2 hours later, I kept thinking about it, and I reread all of them because I had to see how it all played out again once you see the end. And I mean, that's a fucking great story, right? Like, to make you do that. Like, oh God, I gotta fucking reread this because I must have missed something, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
really, really good. Have you not read it, Sam?
No, I've never read it.
Oh man,
Wait for the trade, my man.
yeah,
Yeah,
Pick it up.
check it
yeah.
out.
It's gonna be it's
Right.
fucking good, man. Like Aaron just speaks to me, dude. Like everybody has those writers,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, like you think, man, if I could write a comic book, it'd be like this.
Yeah.
Well, I read Aaron's shit and I go, I could never have wrote something like that. I that would be my style. And he's light years ahead of what I could ever do. When it
Did you
comes to
read
that.
Scalped?
Fuck yeah,
Fuck
man, that's
yeah.
one of the best.
Scalped is amazing.
I think Scalped is
Hey,
what really put him on the map.
That was a big Sam recommendation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. After I read God of Thunder, I was picking up
right.
everything. Jason
Well,
Aaron.
and that's the thing was you had read the Thor, you were talking about Jason Aaron. I said the best thing he's ever done is Scalped. I got
Scalped.
all the trades.
It may have been. It probably was. It probably was. You probably gave me that one.
I'm
that
like
should
that.
be a TV show. How's
Yeah.
that not a TV show?
They've tried. They've been in like initial development a few different times. It's just never happened. Kind of like they've been doing with Why the Last Man.
Yeah. Hey, look, Preacher finally got off the ground. There's hope.
Yeah. for
They were
sure.
Uh,
trying to develop Preacher for like 20 years.
That's true.
I want Lock and Key.
Yes.
Those are the two
Yeah.
I'm waiting for.
You got a lot happening now. You got Umbrella Academy. You got Deadly Class. Comic book TV shows, man. They're coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
We'd
Yeah,
be
they
surprised
are.
next couple of years to see it happen.
I mean, you just named two really, really good ones. Like Umbrella Academy, I knew it was a comic book, had no idea, nothing about it, knew shit about it.
Weird as hell.
Weird
Yeah.
as hell. The comic book is really weird.
Yeah.
Like, I went back and tried, I was reading the comics after I fell in love with the TV show, and I was like, holy shit. And I really liked the liberties that they took with the show. Like, they made it appeal. It's still weird. It still keeps its quirkiness, its uniqueness, but it can still appeal to more viewers the way they portrayed it on TV.
Yeah, the
And
show could
that's
reach
the
a
trick.
wide audience.
Yes, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Sam, we didn't get to do the show, but what did you think of the season finale of Deadly Class?
Man, what a cliffhanger. Like,
Yeah.
how you could just leave us like that.
Yeah.
They did.
I liked every episode. I think the second to the last episode was the best
Yes.
episode.
9.
Which I think that tends to be true of series anyways. I think the penultimate episode is usually the best episode of the series.
Game of Thrones has all their big fights in like the 8th episode of the season or something.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Same
funny
thing.
you say that, Casey, because I've been going back rewatching every season.
Oh god, Travis, why?
Dude,
That's so much television.
I fucking love Thrones.
You know, it didn't grab me, man.
I know. I can't believe
I
it.
watched Amanda when she came over, you know, is when we were first dating, and so she was coming up from Shelbyville, which, Casey, I know you be in New York, you don't know about Shelbyville, but it's very, very country, and
Very rural.
I think they still have outhouses and stuff.
Oh,
and
Good lord.
she said, hey babe, I'm coming up for the weekend, and I rented us Game of Thrones season 1. And I was like, what do you mean you rented? They still have a family video there, you know, like Blockbuster.
No.
Crazy. And so she got Game of Thrones season 1, and so we binged it, and I liked it. And I was like, you know, I could see where people would like this show a lot, but it just didn't speak to me enough to catch up to. At that point, it was on like season 6, I think. And I was like, it didn't speak to me enough to watch 5 seasons worth of show to get to it. So I'm way behind. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones hard.
Well, in me going back and rewatching, like, there's so many things I had forgotten, so many epic scenes, so many exchanges of dialogue that I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm so fucking pumped for season 8. I can't fucking stand it. And like Tormund, who's Sam, you'd love it. There's this guy, his name's Tormund. Big, called a wildling. He's kind of like their version of like barbarians, very uncivilized. He's got a big red beard. He's big.
And he loves big ladies.
Loves big ladies. Yeah. You'll love him. So I was talking to another big guy who's called the Hound, who's a knight that can just basically cut a dude in half.
And you'd think he's the biggest guy, but
no,
he's
he
not.
ain't the biggest guy. He's the brother of the biggest guy.
He's the second biggest guy.
So they're talking, and the Tormund, the barbarian, kind of goes up to the knight, and he's like, so they call you the dog? And he's like, fuck off. And he's like, oh, they said you were mean. He was like, were you born that way, or did someone
half of his face is burned.
Yeah, half his face is burnt. And he was like, were you pushed? And he was like, I was pushed. And he was like, oh, that's why you're mean all the time. He goes, but I don't think you're mean. You got sad eyes. And the Hound looks at him and goes, do you want to suck my dick? And Tormund goes, dick? He goes, yeah, dick, cock. And he goes, dick, I like it. And the Hound goes, I bet you do. I mean, it's just shit like that all through the fucking series.
Game of Thrones, what hurt me from is it gave us that dude that played Iron Fist, man.
He was great as Dolores.
He sure wasn't great as Iron Fist.
I know, but he was a good Knight of Flowers, wasn't he, Casey?
Yeah, well, he sure was.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd read the books too, and then when the series, I guess it was season 5, when they got caught up with the books, so 6 and 7 were like new stories. It sounds weird, but it really fucking took off for me.
Yep.
Like the new shit. For one thing, I didn't know what was going to happen. And the show did take some liberties as far as the books go to keep the readers interested also and surprised. But I mean, there's guys at my firehouse that had never seen, Casey, you'll know what I'm talking about, had never seen an episode of Game of Thrones, and they watched the Red Wedding episode, The Rains of Kashmir is what the episode's called, and they were fucking hooked. They had no idea really what they were watching. They didn't get the gravity of that episode, but they knew some big shit had went down, and they had to fucking get caught up to find out why it was such a huge episode. Like, they're awesome. And now they're talking about letting them do, you're going to love this, Case, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Which, as a Star Wars fan, is maybe my favorite group of stories.
Take fantasy, put it into space. You got yourself a Star Wars.
Dude, how DB Weiss and them not be fucking fantastic for Knights of the Old Republic?
I'm here for it. I want Darth Bane. Just Darth Bane. Just give me Darth Bane. I want Darth Bane. I want Darth Revan, and I want all the cool like Zane Carrick and all.
Give me Revan. I'll take Revan. Bane's my favorite. Bane is my favorite, but if you give me Darth Revan.
Yo, bald guys got to be stand bald guys. I'm here for it.
Right. Jacked bald guys. Like fucking Bane was jacked, Sam. Do you know what we're talking about?
Just a little bit. I haven't gone that deep in.
Fucking Darth Bane, dude. He was a monster.
Listen, at some point, you just get so big, you lose all your hair. It's just what happens.
It's just what happens. It's like there's only so much skin. So when we stretch all the skin out, the hair's got nowhere to be. So just fucking get rid of it. We just get rid of it.
More people should aspire to that level of manliness. I'll tell you.
Everybody's got to have something to aspire to, Case.
Someday when I grow up, even though I'm only 29, I'll be as strong as you.
Your baby. You got all kinds to go. Guys, we're an hour and a half. I'm going to cut it off. I thank you, Casey. Thank you, Big Sam, for being on my 100th episode. This is a far different format than what the Blazing Defender Report usually is. But that was kind of my plan, is my Twitch content is going to be just like this. Like having guests on, just doing exactly what we did. We had talking points and half of them we didn't even fucking get to. But I knew we wouldn't.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm speaking for Big Sam, too, and I don't mind because I know he's down. You want a part 2? We'll do a part 2.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And we can do that. And we can definitely do that. But that was my goal is my show on Twitch was going to be like this. When I do my Facebook show, it's going to be more the Blazing Defender, the comic book reviews. You know what I mean? It's always going to be about comic books. It's always going to be comic book related. But the format was just going to change from the two channels. So, man, I hope you guys really enjoyed it in the chat. And I missed a lot of stuff in the chat. Yeah, I love that though, man. And thank you, Tony. Thanks. Thank you, everybody that joined in on my 100th episode. It was a big deal for me. Big deal to have these two guys on. These two guys have never been on my show at the same time.
No, never.
True.
Yeah.
It's a long time coming.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. It is. But now, especially with Twitch and with Streamlabs, and like Sam can tell you, Casey was showing me shit in Streamlabs before we got started. Like, I thought I was fucked. And, Casey's like, no. Hit Control, Alt, Delete, and then with your toe, drag the fucking case. And I'm like, yes.
It worked.
Got it. It worked. And it
Man in the
worked.
chair, baby.
Man in the chair. Gotta have man in the chair.
Man.
But guys, again, thank you everyone that joined in. Hey, if you know somebody you think might like this episode, give them a share, give them a shout, let them know what the show's all about. And again, this is going to kind of be my Twitch channel going forward. Like, we're still talking about comic books. We talked about several comic books tonight, which that's kind of what I want to do. I want to get people out to their local comic shops, look at them online. I don't care, but just support that medium. We love it. Me and the two guys on the screen right now, we fucking absolutely love it. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to have them, because I know they love comic books just as much as I do. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. But Sam, tell everybody where they can find you at if they want to learn Ulan Kun.
Oh.
I fucked it up, didn't I?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's
right.
okay. The name of the school is Anlun Guan. It means House of the Peaceful Dragon. I teach authentic Shaolin 5-animal Kung Fu and Yang style Tai Chi. We're open right now Mondays and Wednesday nights. Class starts 6:45 p.m. Website is Kung Fu Lou, like Louisville, LOU.com. You can get me on Facebook, on Instagram, website, all that good stuff. Debo
actually posted your link in the chat.
He does, and that's awesome, man. Thank you, Debo. Appreciate
so if
that.
you want to scroll up and find that link. Casey, where can we find you at, brother?
I may not be able to bring you balance of body and mind like Big Sam, but I might be able to make you laugh. You can watch me here, twitch.tv/badcoyotefunky. We're actually going live in about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
PAX, the big old gaming convention that was in Boston last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was tight. So listen, if you want to come on over, we're more than welcome.
Are you on Twitch?
Yeah, we're on Twitch.
Okay, that's right.
Twitch.tv/badcoyotefunky.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll be there. And like I said before, I'm currently in the process of launching tvscasey.com. Right now, I have the podcast page pretty much all finished. So if you want to see past episodes of me and Travis on his show, I got links there.
Awesome.
Which is just all linked to his Facebook page. You've probably seen it before, whatever. And plenty of other stuff that I did the G-Stun last year.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. Again, thanks to chat. With that, guys, I like to sign off every show. 100th is going to be no different. Hopefully, the 200th episode, I'll still be doing it. But the world's a fucked up place. It's a crazy place. Just treat people like you would want to be treated. Hold a door open for somebody. Do just a random act of kindness for someone. And the world will just be a better place. Just you're going to pay it forward just a little bit. Okay? With that, everybody be safe. And for that, the 100th episode of the Blazing Defender Report with my fucking fantastic co-host, TV's Casey and Big fucking Sam. We're out, guys. Peace.